preceding our regular board meeting, I'd like to call to order the New York State Bridge Authority Audit Committee meeting of June 17th by taking a roll call. Maria Bruni.
Here.
Lonnie Gilbert.
Here.
And myself, Alex Berardi, present. We'll begin today by adopting the minutes of the March 18th, 2021 committee of the whole meeting. Can I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Thank you, Lonnie. Can I have a second?
I'll second.
I'll take a roll call. Maria Bruni.
Yes.
Lonnie Gilbert.
Yes.
And Alex Berardi is also a yay. We'll move on to the Internal Control Systems Auditor Award. And for more help, we'll ask Brian, our treasurer and CFO.
Thank you, Chair Berardi. The only item for the audit committee meeting today is the award for the contract related to the Internal Control Systems Auditor. The authority advertised on the New York State Contract Reporter in May and received 2 proposals in June. 2 proposals are indicated in the memo. The incumbent was roughly half of the other proposal. So based on the satisfaction the authority has had with the incumbent over the last literally 10 years of using them for their services, we recommend the award of Internal Control Systems Auditor to Tronconi Cigar and Associates for a 5-year amount of $101,500. What that means is this just awards the contract, and then we'll bring back to the committee and the board the engagement letter and the annual audit plan during each year. Okay, so we'll probably bring it back in July or August for for the audit plan and the engagement letter for this year.
Thank you, Brian. Do any audit committee members have any questions?
No.
And hearing no further comments, can I have a motion to approve the Internal Control Systems Auditor Award?
I make a motion.
Thank you, Maria.
I'll
Second.
second.
Thank you. Thank you, Lonnie. And for your roll call, Maria Bruni.
Aye.
Lonnie Gilbert.
Aye.
And Alex Berardi. I'm an aye. The motion is accepted. Are there any other business matters that members of the audit committee would like to present today? Hearing none, we'll adjourn the meeting and pass it to our chairwoman, Commissioner McDonald.
Thank you, Alex. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the June 17th, 2021 meeting of the New York State Bridge Authority per Governor Cuomo's executive order in response to the COVID pandemic. We are authorized to have these meetings remotely via WebEx, Zoom, or other means and still conform to the New York State Open Meetings Law. With that, I will call the roll and then we will begin the meeting. Maria Bruni.
Here.
Okay, Alex Berardi.
Here.
Lanny Gilbert.
Here.
Colin Jarvis.
Here.
Michael O'Brien.
Here.
And Joan McDonald present. Okay, we will now open the meeting. Our first order of business is to adopt the annual and regular board meeting minutes of May 27th, 2021. Do I have a motion from one of the board members to approve those meeting minutes?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Lanny. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Alex. Do I have any questions or comments from any of the board members regarding those meeting minutes? Hearing none, I will now call the roll. Maria Bruni.
Aye.
Alex Berardi.
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert.
Aye.
Colin Jarvis.
Aye.
Michael O'Brien.
Aye.
And Joan McDonald is an aye. The meeting minutes are approved and adopted. We will now move into our business items on the agenda. First, in administration and human resources, cleaning service renewal. Bob Russo will present that action item.
Yes, good afternoon, all. I have one item under administration, and that is the renewal of our current cleaning services contract here on the Highland campus. This is the final renewal year under the contract, which is effective July 1 for a year. And that is to Prospect Cleaning of Brooklyn, New York. And their rate has remained unchanged going into this renewal period at $2,917.22 a month for a total contract year of $35,006.64. They've done a great job for us here, particularly in the last year during the COVID-19 pandemic. We've needed to call them a couple of times to other facilities to handle a deep cleaning and disinfecting, if you will. And they were very, very responsive, even though they had quite a number of clients that they were dealing with similar situations in and around the boroughs of New York. They were able to get up here, get up to our Catskill facility, essentially a moment's notice. And so we certainly are, willing to go ahead and recommend that we renew them for the final year of this contract. And I ask that you resolve to do that.
Thank you so much. Do I have a motion from one of the board members to approve and adopt the cleaning services renewal contract?
I make a motion.
Thank you, Colin. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Maria. I'll now call the roll. Maria Bruni,
Aye.
Alex Berardi,
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert,
Aye.
Colin Jarvis,
Aye.
Michael O'Brien,
Aye.
and Joan McDonald is an aye. The resolution is approved and adopted. Okay, that does it for our administration and human resources. We now go to engineering and maintenance with Jeff Wright.
Good afternoon. First up is the plow pattern truck procurement for the Newburgh Beacon Bridge. We've designed a new plow and pattern truck for that bridge based on the truck that you see behind me that we're currently using at the Kingston Rhinecliff Bridge. We've come up with a flatbed pattern truck, which incorporates cone setting baskets, an aero board, and an impact attenuator. And then this truck will also be used for winter maintenance with a stainless steel V-box spreader, a one-way funnel plow, and pre-wetting system. The entire truck will be purchased by piggybacking onto the already publicly advertised and bid Onondaga contract. Because we're piggybacking this contract, MWBE goals shall be considered to have been addressed by the agency that issued the RFP. This vehicle will replace one of our older, larger diesel plow trucks, which will be put up for auction. It's an old 1997 International truck with almost 45,000 miles and almost 6,000 hours of service. The total truck cost comes to $250,923.86. Although this seems quite costly, this is a multi-purpose truck to be able to be used during maintenance and protection of traffic, as well as the winter maintenance, snow plowing. And the cost is in line with the recent truck, which we did purchase at Kingston, which was for almost $243,000.
Questions from the board members? Okay, do I have a motion to approve the resolution to purchase the NBB plow pattern truck procurement?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Lanny. Do I have a second?
Second, Michael.
Thank you, Michael. I'll now call the roll. Maria Bruni,
Aye.
Alex Berardi,
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert,
Aye.
Colin Jarvis,
Aye.
Michael O'Brien,
Aye.
and Joan McDonald is a yes. The resolution is approved and adopted. Thank you, Jeff. I now turn it over to you to give us an update on the Jobs in Progress monthly report.
Our big project, the Newburgh Beacon redecking project is, we've installed approximately 75% of the new grid deck panels. Concrete pouring into the new panels and for the new parapets continues. The next milestone is the toll booth demolition and toll plaza reconfiguration, which will occur in July and August of this year. Then next up is the Mid-Hudson Bridge curb and railing project. The contractor continues to rehabilitate the north curb line in the main span. We've completed the east side span just recently. And then our overlay projects continue with design of the Bear Mountain project is almost completely finished with design. The overlay project is substantially complete. The toll booth demolition and toll plaza configuration is scheduled to be complete by mid-July. So both projects will be let as one to be performed by one contractor. The system-wide AET gantry construction and precast pavement installation, which is being performed by our emergency contractor. The Bear Mountain precast pavement has been installed. The gantry is scheduled to be installed the second week of July. And the Rip Van Winkle gantry is scheduled to arrive August 16th. And both Rip Van Winkle and Kingston Rhinecliff are under design for the rest of the toll plaza reconfiguration. We also have a system-wide pier repair project, which is out for bid right now. And that's all of the current projects that are underway.
Great. Thank you, Jeff. Board members, any questions for Jeff on these projects?
Jeff, are the dates for AET by bridge posted anywhere, or is that still not disclosed yet?
We're working off of a set schedule. I don't know that it's 100% out there yet.
Okay.
We haven't firmed up the dates exactly because it might be plus or minus a day or two, and there's still ongoing project work to be done. As we go and get further along, we'll disclose more information. We'll give rough timelines, but again, the overall project is still that we're expecting to take Newburgh live sometime in July and complete Mid-Hudson at the end by the end of March, or by March 1st, excuse me.
Thank you.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve and adopt the monthly Jobs in Progress report?
So moved, Michael.
Thank you, Michael. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thanks, Alex. I'll call the roll. Maria Bruni,
Aye.
Alex Berardi,
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert,
Aye.
Colin Jarvis,
Aye.
Michael O'Brien,
Aye.
and Joan McDonald is an aye. The resolution is approved and adopted. So I think that concludes the engineering and maintenance items on the agenda. Thank you, Jeff. I'll now turn it over to Brian for our financial items on the agenda. First, we have the monthly investment report. Brian?
Thank you, Chair McDonald. On the monthly investment report during the month of May, there were 6 investments, all of a routine nature. To note, interest rates during the month of May were extremely low, 0% in some investments. We were lucky to get positive yields. All of those investments are reflected on the investment inventory report on the next page. Currently, the maintenance reserve fund balance stands at 25.3 as of the month end of May. The last page, the interest income and yield, was delayed. That will be brought to board at a subsequent meeting.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Questions from the board members? Do I have a motion to approve and adopt the monthly investment report?
So
I'll make a
moved.
motion.
Thank you, Colin. And if that was Lanny, I'll take the second.
Okay,
I'll now call the roll. Maria Bruni,
Aye.
Alex Berardi,
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert,
aye,
Colin Jarvis,
Aye.
Michael O'Brien,
Aye.
and Joan McDonald is an aye. The resolution is approved and adopted. Next up, we have the agreement, the MOU between the New York State Thruway Authority and the New York State Bridge Authority, First Amendment. Brian?
Okay, the authority doesn't have a contract directly with the New York Service Center. It utilizes an MOU between itself and the New York State Thruway, as the Thruway has that contract with the Service Center. As the authority is transitioning into tolls by mail, it's necessary to go and prepare it was necessary to prepare an amendment to allow for the authority to jump onto the tolls by mail program with the other entities. Before you is the first amendment for that original MOU, which allows the authority to take part in the incremental functionality supported by Conduent for tolls by mail. It allows for the creation of a direct interface to go and allow our toll systems provider, TransCore, to go and transact tolls by mail. It provides for the expiration of the existing Easy Pass transaction process and arrangement with the Thruway that will become obsolete with the retirement of the current toll system, as well as a reimbursement for a portion of the costs the New York State Thruway has made as an investment to develop the tolls by mail functionality at the customer service center. Additionally, it does cover the various costs associated with operating the New York Customer Service Center, specifically allocation of costs related to tolls by mail, as well as change order mechanisms and other services that we may require as we work closely with the Thruway to try to implement tolls by mail in the most efficient manner possible. It should be noted that in order to go and once we go and sign this agreement, it does provide for a upfront cost of $23,211 as that initial reimbursement for initial investment costs for the Thruway.
Questions from the board members? Okay. Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the First Amendment between the New York State Thruway Authority and the New York State Bridge Authority MOU?
So moved.
Thank you, Alex. Do I have a second?
second,
Thank you, Lanny. I'll call the roll. Maria Bruni,
Aye.
Alex Berardi,
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert,
aye,
Colin Jarvis,
Aye.
Michael O'Brien,
Yes. Aye.
and Joan McDonald is an aye. The resolution is approved and adopted. Next, we have the cyber liability coverage. Very much top of mind with everybody today. Brian?
An interesting point, and I'll touch on that again in a minute. Historically, the authority had limited cyber risk. We really, in a cash collection environment, we weren't, and not issuing our own Easy Pass tags, we weren't collecting, retaining, storing really any significant amount of personal identifiable information. And in those instances where we did, it was so well isolated that there was very little risk of data loss. Currently, the authority is again working toward tolls by mail, and we were reviewing certain requirements as we developed DMV agreements for lookup of license plates, and it was made apparent that the authority really needed to go and reevaluate its risk exposure. In doing so, it was realized that we never really had this exposure before, and we needed to address that quickly. So the authority approached its common broker for many of its policies and asked that they go out to market to identify what coverage possibilities were available. As you indicated, because it is such a hot topic right now and government entities are very much in the news quite a bit, it's actually quite challenging to go and obtain coverage as a government entity. The broker came back indicating that the best we can do right now would be $1 million policy that would have we selected or recommend a $2,500 deductible at a cost of $21,054 per year. We're looking to do this a little bit outside the normal RFP process in trying to quickly support tolls by mail, as well as to develop a policy structure so that next year when we go out and do our RFP cycle for our various coverages that are due, we have a policy to go and structure the RFP for. So we're looking to go and obtain 13 months of coverage in the future, or the next time we come to the board for insurance next year for this coverage, we'll have an RFP proposal for it. At this point, though, we're looking to go and start this a month early because we're looking to have it in place by July 1. Okay, so what we're asking for is a total of $22,817, which is the $25,000 deductible option. It's roughly $1,755 a month for 13 months with an $8 premium extension fee.
I think this is a very important policy that we need. I think the proposal that you presented, Brian, is the prudent way to go. I would just request that as we look over the next 12 months, and I also ask Frank Hoare, who's our counsel, as well as counsel to the Thruway Authority, that whatever cybersecurity insurance the customer service center needs, we be in aligned with them. We factor that in as well, just to make sure that that all bases are covered. Questions, comments from board members?
I would second the chair's comments, but also ask, the big threat these days is obviously ransomware. And I saw in the policy that a lot of the manifestations of a ransomware attack are addressed, but there is no policy for ransomware in and of itself, correct?
Well, this really applies to, it's a blanket coverage to go and allow for, you get the, the individual people whose data has been breached or disclosed. You get the security, credit monitoring, those types of things. It provides for a group or a consulting firm that comes in and addresses, how to deal with both the public relations as well as the other issues. And really it gets to what is the formal claim for damage. Okay. As far as ransomware goes, it's $1 million coverage, but it's in excess of that because the cost of the assistance to address the issue is incremental to the $1 million. As far as a ransom attack itself, obviously we would have to look at the specific provisions to see what would be covered. Okay. There are a lot of instances of that lately. The intent and the expectation is, again, the authority is really looking at what it's going to store, but as well as what the information that the service center will go and cover. We are not looking to go and incrementally or substantially collect and retain internally. We're also looking at the defense side. But as far as ransomware itself, this is a proposal. We would have to go and dig into further detail to the actual policy structure to see how it would address that.
Thank you, Brian.
I think under the conditions that it's remarkable that you were able to get a policy in at this price. Most people are unable to find underwriting for this.
Especially as a government entity, because they're indicating that government entities are a very high target for these types of activities.
Do I have a motion to approve and adopt the resolution?
So moved.
So
Thank
moved.
you, Colin. Do I have a second?
Second, Michael.
Thank you, Michael. I'll call the roll. Maria Bruni,
Aye.
Alex Berardi,
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert,
Aye.
Colin Jarvis,
Aye.
Michael O'Brien,
Aye.
and Joan McDonald is an aye. The resolution is approved and adopted. Next, Brian, the toll system provider change order.
Okay, thank you. The authority awarded the contract in 2020 for the installation, operation, and maintenance of the toll system to Transcore. The project is proceeding with the first bridge scheduled to go live this summer in July. The preparation for go live, Transcore is installing equipment overnight to minimize traffic impact. Transcore proposed the project with the requirement that NYSBA provide traffic control as needed. Well, NYSBA is utilizing Yonkers, the deck replacement contractor for traffic control, who works on Sunday night through Thursday night. Well, Transcore's subcontractors proposal, their proposal based on the subcontractor was based on a Monday to Friday night. The incremental cost to have their sub work on Sunday night, as well as the cost of approximately 60 feet of conduit, is an additional $13,028. The authority's procurement rules require for an awarded contract that we go back to the board for approval of the change order.
Questions from the board members? Okay, hearing none. Do I have a motion to approve and adopt the resolution?
So moved, Michael.
Thank you, Michael. Do I have a second?
Second, Maria.
Thank you, Maria. I'll call the roll. Maria Bruni,
Aye.
Alex Berardi,
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert,
Aye.
Colin Jarvis,
Aye.
Michael O'Brien,
Aye.
and Joan McDonald is an aye. The resolution is approved and adopted. Next up, Brian, is our Internal Control Systems Auditor Award.
Thank you. As indicated in the audit committee meeting, the authority advertised for an internal control systems auditor. There were two proposals received in early June. Of the two proposals, the incumbent was approximately half of the other proposer. The incumbent, the authority has been very happy with, having worked with them for approximately 10 years now. And as such, the authority recommends, and the audit committee has also recommended, the full board award the contract to Tronconi Cigars and Associates. The full board, similar to the audit committee, would be requested to consider both the engagement, requested to consider the engagement letter for each of the 5 years that will be brought in a subsequent meeting.
Questions, comments from the board members? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve and adopt the resolution?
Make a motion.
Thank you, Lanny. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Colin. I'll call the roll. Maria Bruni,
Aye.
Alex Berardi,
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert,
Aye.
Colin Jarvis,
Aye.
Michael O'Brien,
Aye.
and Joan McDonald is an aye. The resolution is approved and adopted. Next up is the 2021 Maintenance Reserve Fund Balance Determination. Brian?
Okay, as required under the bond resolution annually, the authority board is required to go and set the balance for the maintenance reserve fund. What this does, it sets the ceiling amount in the maintenance reserve fund before incremental fund deposits would go and be placed in the general fund. This is a treasury designation to go and confirm that the authority continues to support the capital program, and we will continue to make deposits of any funds in excess of debt service and operating until the balance in that fund hits 141,221. This is based upon the most recent, somewhat updated capital program, which is a slight modification from the board approved capital program from September of 2020. There was one project that was brought forward a few years into the program.
Do I have any questions or comments from the board members? All right, do I have a motion to approve and adopt the resolution?
Hi, Joan, I'd like to make a motion.
Thank you, Alex. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Michael. I'll now call the roll. Maria Bruni,
Aye.
Alex Berardi,
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert,
Aye.
Colin Jarvis,
Aye.
Michael O'Brien,
Aye.
and Joan McDonald is aye. The resolution is approved and adopted. Next up is the quarterly operations report for the first quarter of 2021. Brian?
Okay, this item is solely for information purposes for the board, just as a internal reporting mechanism. This is not a GASB approved financial report or GASB compliant. Basically, the authority's traffic was down 11.19% the first quarter. January, we still saw some effects of COVID. And February, we got largely hit with several snowstorms, which were much worse than the prior year. COVID didn't really hit the authority until March. So March, we actually did very, very well, but it wasn't enough to compensate for January and February. Revenue is down approximately 11.89% from prior year. Operating expenses are down 2.35%. Some of that's attributable to some timing differences associated with the Easy Pass bill payment and a reclassification there, as well as an offset from health insurance and depreciation as well for some equipment upgrades that we have done over the last year. Capital improvement program obviously is much larger with the DEC award last year. We're seeing 9 million this year as opposed to 800,000 last year through March. The operating expenses are budgeted for 44.6 million. This includes 4.2 million for post-employment accrual benefits and 1.6 million for depreciation of the walkway over the Hudson that are both booked at the end of the year. 3.7 million was spent. And the authority's 5-year capital plan originally budgeted 65.7. The revised is expecting, I believe it's $76 million, which is due to some rollover from the prior year that wasn't spent. And as of March 31st, the balance spent is $9.1 million. If there are any questions.
Questions or comments from the board members?
But traffic is roughly following projections.
Well, traffic's improving very nicely. We're actually 90% plus in many cases of where we were to 2019. Okay,
Oh, good.
and we're also in a very fortunate position where many tolling authorities or tolling entities are seeing a bump in commercial traffic. Okay, so commercial traffic, because it pays a bit higher proportion of toll revenues, the bump in commercial traffic is always a welcome sign. Remember, 6% of our 6% of authority traffic through commercial traffic generates approximately 30% of our revenues. Okay, and you know, as discussed in the previous meeting with the traffic consultant, what everyone is seeing is a larger amount of commercial traffic, likely associated with a lot more ship to home type activities from the pandemic. Okay, hopefully those will continue. We conservatively estimated for future year projections that will return to the normal mean that it was over the past few years. But at least for the time being, you know, that has helped a lot, as well as the the toll increases as part of the single toll increase that was phased in over 4 years. When last I looked today, although traffic was running down for the month of June about 8%, revenues are actually up 12%. But that doesn't adjust for the toll increase. So it's just dollar for dollar.
Great. Other questions, comments from the board members? Okay. Thank you, Brian. That concludes the financial business item portion of the agenda. We will now turn it over to Fran for the Microsoft licensing agreement under IT.
Yeah, so today we bring you the Microsoft licensing renewals. It is necessary for the authority to license Microsoft operating systems and programs that we have installed on our computers here. The authority participates in the New York State-wide Microsoft licensing program called Software Assurance. The benefits of this program include price protection, predictable budgetary amounts, and software licensing flexibility. Additionally, we have also upgraded our SQL Server licenses to allow for redundancy and high availability. This program is structured as a 3-year agreement with annual payments. At this time, we are recommending approving the third payment for a total of $51,932.89 to Dell, as they are the reseller for these services. And this amount is identified in the Department of Information Technology's operating budget.
Thank you, Fran. Questions, comments from the board members?
Love to hear redundancy.
Me too.
Yep. Okay, do I have a motion to approve and adopt the resolution?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Alex. Do I have a second?
Second, Michael.
Thank you, Michael. I'll call the roll. Maria Bruni,
aye,
Alex Berardi,
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert,
Aye.
Colin Jarvis,
Aye.
Michael O'Brien,
Aye.
and Joan McDonald is an aye. The resolution is approved and adopted. We have no board items under bridge operations or media and public information. I'll now turn it over to Tara for the reports to the board.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and hello, greetings to our commissioners. My first report today is the monthly activity report for the acting executive director. There are no reportable activities for May of 21. My second report is typically the traffic and revenue analysis. We had a recent resignation that makes it so that I'm going to be tardy with that report. I apologize. As soon as it's ready, I will send it to everyone and we will publish it. But Brian gave you a cursory knowledge of where we are, certainly with traffic. My third report is the May 2021 Easy Pass sales analysis, showing an increase of 33.4%. And my fourth and final report is from the Historic Bridges of the Hudson Valley. It's Kathy Burke's status report on all finances for the not-for-profit, as well as the highlights of her work for May of 21. And that concludes my reports, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Tara. Questions from or comments from the board members?
I just had one question. I noticed while following Facebook that it was something that was published by Linda Cooper, who works for the New York State Parks Department. I don't know, and it had to do with the terrible fire that occurred on the, I believe, the Highland side of the walkway.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering, I obviously heard nothing through our the authority, and I was just curious what our connection was with that structure, or whether that was strictly a parks department, New York State Parks Department facility, or whether there was anything involving anything regarding our authority.
Chris Stieber is on the Walkway Over the Hudson's Amenity Committee. Chris, would you go ahead and pick that up for us?
Yeah, sure. So the building that experienced a fire was on the east side, the Poughkeepsie side of the bridge. The Walkway Parks staff, the state park staff, used it for storage of equipment and office space. Luckily the fire took place in the wee hours of the morning. There was nobody in the building. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. But certainly a devastating fire. Nevertheless, that's as far as we're concerned, that is a parks matter. But of course, in terms of our relationship with the walkway, we maintain the bridge structure for the walkway, and I am in contact with the park staff and with the nonprofit group Walkway Over the Hudson quite frequently about different matters, and I loop in the engineering team whenever we need to. And we mainly look at things from a, I guess more of a bridge structural standpoint with regards to the walkway.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Other questions, comments from the board members? Okay, thank you for your reports, Tara. I know we have some old business, which is the contract with Kathy Burke from Historic Bridges of the Hudson Valley. And Tara, are you presenting that?
I would like to. Thank you very
Great.
much, Madam Chair. So every year, we renew this contract with Kathy Burke because an integral part of the Bridge Authority's mission states that it's in the best interest of the Bridge Authority and the people of the Hudson Valley to create a popular awareness, even an education of the many beneficial aspects of having a regional authority running their bridges, keeping them safely maintained and keeping the costs and therefore the tolls low. In July of 2016, now 5 years ago, Historic Bridges hired a new director. That's Kathy Burke, who is a New York State certified teacher with an MS in education. She's also an established author, and I brought show and tell two of her books, one Bridges of the Mid-Hudson Valley, the other Hudson River Bridges. She's literally become the oracle of our bridges, the bridges of the Hudson Valley. And some of the things that she's done in the 5 years include she's helped put together and establish a bridge museum at Bear Mountain Bridge. I know Commissioner O'Brien has visited that. She has written the extensive interpretive historic content of all of the interpretive signs that are now established at every bridge. She runs and organizes the annual Skywalk event up at the Rip Van Winkle Bridge. She has written curriculum for all grade levels for the Hudson Valley schools. She established the Bridge Model Program. She conducts library visits and lectures, as well as her reported lectures with the master teachers of New York State. So due to all of this and all of the success that she's experienced with Historic Bridges of the Hudson Valley, now among the notable historic organizations in the Hudson Valley, I asked the board to renew the funding and the accompanying resolution, which will allow for Ms. Burke's continued work as Director of Historic Bridges of the Hudson Valley for one more year.
Thank you, Tara.
Thank
Questions,
you.
comments from the board members?
No, but I second all of Tara's comments. Kathy was wonderful.
Then would you like to make the motion, Mr. O'Brien?
Thank you, Joan. Yes, I will, Madam Chair.
Okay, great,
So
great.
moved.
Yep, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Alex. I'll now call the roll. Maria Bruni,
Aye.
Alex Berardi,
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert.
Aye, if I can get a tour.
Of course you can.
She would love that.
Yep,
She would.
yep. Colin Jarvis,
Aye.
Michael O'Brien.
Before I do, I want to respond to Lonnie's comment and say, you actually get Jeff as a tour guide for the bridge. Kathy takes you through the museum. And so it just gets better and better.
Great.
Good, good, good. And so Michael, but you didn't vote. You have to vote.
Thought I said aye, sorry.
Oh, okay, okay. And Joan, and I am an aye. The resolution is approved and adopted. We have no new business on the agenda, no items for attorney-client privilege. Our next meeting is July 15th, 2021. Do I have a motion to adjourn today's meeting?
Make a
So
motion.
moved.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much, everybody. We'll see you in July.
Good to see
Okay,
everybody.
thank you.
Good to see
Take care.
everybody. Thank
Thanks
you.
Have a
for
great
joining.
day.
We're clear.
Good job.